everyone. Today we're going to go through 5 types of headaches for you not to ignore. Now these are actually very serious types of headaches potentially, and you know, they're big red flag headaches, and these aren't really headaches that we deal with in our office,
but they're important for us to know, so we can, if we see you come in with them, we can be like, off you go.
Yes, but also just to give you a little bit of information of, you know, these are dangerous headaches, and if you see anything like this, you know, around home or work, that you have that bit of awareness, and you know, that red flag goes up to go, hey, there is something potentially seriously wrong here. So it really is just to give you that bit of information.
Knowledge is power when it comes to these type of things.
And acting fast is really important with some of these headaches. Or all of them really that we're going to go through. So let's just introduce ourselves. I'm Lisa, this is Britt.
Hi guys.
And we are chiropractors at Errol Street Chiropractic. We have been chatting about headaches the last few weeks. So February is about giving you some information about headaches. Next week we're actually going to be chatting to you about how we actually treat headaches in terms of cervicogenic and tension type headaches and postural headaches in our office. But today we just thought we'd just give you this little bit of information. So the first one that you need to be aware of is what's called a Thunderclap headache. Now that just sounds horrid, doesn't it? So it is kind of, if you can imagine the worst headache in the world, where you probably feel like, you know, your head's going to fall off.
Comes on very quickly.
Yes, and within about 60 seconds it's kind of at its worst, and then that can last for about 5 minutes. Very, very severe headache. There could be a fever, could be quite disorientated, there could be a bit of nausea, a bit of vomiting. It's a really severe headache, and it's definitely potentially an emergency type headache, and it could be coming from
blood clot.
So it could be a burst aneurysm, it could be maybe a very severe infection. So anyway, it needs immediate medical attention.
And important not to ignore it, because it does come on very quickly and then it goes away after
about
a period.
5 minutes. Generally.
Sometimes, obviously because it is very out of ordinary, hopefully it prompts you to go and get help straight away. But if you are that type of person that maybe is like, oh, what's gone now? It's actually really important to go and get that checked.
Definitely.
It's a warning sign.
It is. It's a big one. So do, not all the time these things are going to have a horrible outcome. But just get on top of it very quickly. The second one that we will go through is concussion. So concussion can be a tricky one, and you can get concussed through a fall, right, where you hit your head. It can come, through
sporting
football. Footy's a great one. You hear about it all the time. and also fights, unfortunately. It does occur, and not just the ones where they actually want to, they're out on the boxing ring, out on the street as well. So you can definitely get headaches with concussion, and these symptoms can come on even, the next day, a few days down the track. So you do need to kind of watch to monitor this one. Some of the other symptoms can be, they can kind of look like they're a little bit drunk even. So, which is a bit tricky if they've had something to drink and you're talking about a fight. But, slight memory loss, dizziness, there might be a little bit of nausea, a bit of vomiting.
Visual issues.
There could be some awkwardness in their walk. So concussion, they could be quite sleepy as well. So just watch those things if, that might be you or someone you know. Just kind of watch those symptoms, and if you...
they do say to kind of, if you have a family member who has had a concussion, to actually watch them overnight, because it's those 24 hours after that you really need to be aware of as well.
So don't let them go to sleep for a while, just to make sure that everything is okay. And if you're not sure, then off you go to the hospital, so you don't kind of wait for things to get worse. So remembering that the brain is, and this is, I think people kind of imagine the brain as being this hard substance. It's actually really soft. And one of our lecturers likened it to blancmange, which is kind of like a thicker custard. So our brain is actually quite soft. So you can imagine an impact, off a bike, all those kind of things. Then
Just saying all the things that my husband does. Football, biking.
We'll just wrap them up in bubble wrap. No, we don't want to do that. But we do just need to be aware.
And aware of these headaches.
Yeah. So
Angus has joined. Hi, Angus.
Hello. Now, the next one is a headache that is progressively getting worse over time. And that you just need to be aware that there might be a stroke potentially going on there. So, it is a tough one because headaches can mean so many different things, and we don't want to be freaking everyone out there. But just that awareness, and especially if someone has maybe in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and they're not great. But what you can, with a stroke, obviously, there's a lovely little acronym, it's fast. Yeah. So acting fast is really important with, potentially a stroke. Yeah. So the F, what does the F stand for? F stands for face. Yeah. So, get them to smile if they're speaking. See what their one side of their face. So you tend to get weakness or slight paralysis perhaps on one side of the body. So it means that their mouth on one side doesn't lift up as they're speaking or smiling. So F is for face. Yeah. A is for arms. So get them to lift up their arms. And if you find one arm is really weak, then, and you're talking about putting all those together. So if they've just got one, you're not going to be freaking out. You're going to just check them over a period of time. Or if you're not sure, off you go to the hospital. And S is for speech. So if their speech is a bit slurred or garbled, then that potentially could be a sign. And the T is for time. So the quicker you get onto it, then the better, the outcome if it is a stroke.
It's amazing just having that in your memory bank, even if you don't really need to really think of it day to day. It's amazing that if you ever come across that situation, it'll just come straight out.
And I think when if something you feel that is potentially happening in front of you, then there's stress. Like you end up going into that fight or flight. But if you can remember fast, then, that might just be enough to kind of, check those few little signs and then do whatever you need to do.
I know when my grandfather had a stroke, my grandmother had read about it. Not recently, just had it in her mind, and then as soon as she started thinking about it, she just went straight into that came straight to her head. So it's pretty cool. Just knowing that, you'll be amazed. It'll come straight to your head if you ever need that knowledge.
Yeah, it's true because it just you just action what you've learned at some point. So it's good to have that. So remember fast, okay? The next one is, especially with young children, is meningitis. So there's two types of meningitis. There's viral and bacterial. So we're not going to go too much into it, but it is when the meninges around the brain and the spinal cord get inflamed, and that can cause some headaches. Yeah. So, sometimes this occurs quite a bit, it tends to occur in children and young children and babies. It's a bit hard for babies to tell you they've got a headache, but, stiff neck, bit of a fever, a rash as well. And there's lots of things that can mimic this as well. Yeah. But if you are concerned, then it is important to act and, get that checked out. So that's meningitis. So that's 4. And the last one is really headaches that are just out of character. And this tends to be tricky for people that suffer with headaches. And just think, it's just a little bit worse, or, it's a little bit different. But if you really aren't sure, then do get it checked because, there's so many different causes. But if anything's really out of character, then, we always advise people to make sure that they take those next measures. Yeah. So they're the 5... potentially dangerous types of headaches that are out there, and so just giving you that little bit of information to, if hopefully you'll never have to use this information, but just to be aware, you don't want to be ignoring these signs and symptoms when it comes to headaches. Okay, now have we got any questions out there?
I didn't put my glasses on. I can't see from this far away. But we'll answer them after. We'll have a look and answer them.
So or even direct messages if you've got any questions.
Absolutely.
But as I said, these aren't headaches that we treat in our office, but obviously we're aware of them just to give you that little bit of information. But if you've got other types of headaches that you're not really getting help with and they're really annoying you day to day with your energy and your sleep and your concentration, then give us a call,
Yeah.
and we would love to check those headaches out and see if we can help in any way.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thanks guys for watching and listening. Thanks, Britt.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Bye then.